Alright, let's go. Oh, a little more chicken. Okay. Wait a minute. Great. Alright, so we are reading from Thinking. Okay, his phone's here. Thinking. And this is Gigerenzer. Oh, I thought this was a woman. Gigerenzer.
Accounting Fundamentals Certificate from WGU School of Business and get a whole new Tomorrow You in just 6 months. Enroll today at WGU.
Gerd Gigerenzer.
Gigerenzer. Gerd Gigerenzer.
Gerd Gigerenzer.
Gerd Gigerenzer.
Gerd Gigerenzer.
Alright, Gigerenzer. German man. I was picturing a New York old Jewish lady. Yeah, maybe German. No, I was picturing American, really. But maybe German roots. Anyway, I think I'm just talking shit so I can finish this. Alright. Gigerenzer. Alright, good. So, smart heuristics is what it's called. Now, Gerd's a psychologist. And the director of the Center for Adaptive Behavior and Cognition, Max Planck Institute for Human Development, Berlin. Author of Calculated Risk, Gut Feelings, and Risk Savvy. Alright, here's an introduction. Excuse me, dude. Here's an introduction by the editor, John Brockman. Isn't more information always better? Asks Gerd Gigerenzer. Why else would bestsellers on how to make good decisions tell us to consider all pieces of information, weigh them carefully, and compute the optimal choice, preferably with the aid of a fancy statistical software package? Is that what bestsellers on how to make good decisions were telling people? Well, when was that? In like the 80s or the 90s? You want to know how to make good decisions? First, find out how you're making bad decisions. See where you're making bad decisions and by what mechanisms. You don't have to figure it out. You can just read it and then notice it. Anyway, it's like a whole paragraph quote, like a long quote. So, isn't more information always better? Why else would bestsellers on how to make good decisions tell us to consider all pieces of information, weigh them carefully? I think I'm just going to move into French. And compute the optimal choice, preferably This is Alsatian. Or what I imagine. I'm speaking Rhine. No. Yeah, Rhine. I'm sorry. In economics, Nobel Prizes are regularly awarded for work that assumes that people make decisions as if they had perfect information and could compute the optimal solution for the problem at hand. But how do real people make good decisions under the usual conditions of little time and scarce information? Consider how players catch a ball in baseball, cricket, or soccer. It may seem that they would have to solve complex differential equations in their heads to predict the trajectory of the ball. In fact, players use a simple heuristic. Then a ball comes in high. The player fixates on the ball and starts running. The heuristic is to adjust the running speed so that the angle of gaze remains constant. That is, the angle between the eye and the ball. The player can ignore all the information necessary to compute the trajectory, such as the ball's initial velocity, distance, and angle, and just focus on one piece of information, the angle of gaze. Alright, great. Gigerenzer provides an alternative to the view of the mind as a cognitive optimizer, and also to its mirror image, the mind as a cognitive miser. Okay. The fact that people ignore information has often been mistaken as a form of irrationality, and shows are filled with books that explain how people routinely commit cognitive fallacies. Oh, dude. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute, bro. I absolutely lied to you in the previous stream. Okay. Absolutely lied. I said that Gerd wrote about the woes of adolescence. And this explains everything. That's false. That's Alison Gopnik's work. Okay? Let's put her up on screen to try to make up for it. Getting the G's confused. There she is. Okay. Move, bro. iPhone. No, MacBook. Come on, bro. Hold on. Oh, just remove it, bro. Alright, Allison. I mean Dr. Goffnick. So, let's just check this. Yeah. So if she wrote this, we can say she wrote the other one. Okay, so Gerd, what did he write? Whatever we just read reminded us of what he actually wrote. Something about bad answers are good. Or something about just because things are wrong. I don't remember, bro. Unconscious inferences. Okay, so this is basically about the same thing. Okay, I got you. Okay. Bro, it does the same thing, bro. Alright. Alright, here we go. Oh. Okay. At the beginning... Oh. We're still reading what Brockman said. I don't get how you can say it's mistaken as a form of irrationality. Like, anything other than rationality is irrationality, nah? No, I guess not. Okay. So a shortcut that approximates well enough what would be rational would be neither rational nor... Well, it could be rational, yeah. It's not rational, like capital R, but it's like rational, okay. Because we don't have unlimited access to information, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. In 7 years of research, he and his research team at the Center for Adaptive Behavior and Cognition at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development in Berlin have worked out what he believes is a viable alternative: the study of fast and frugal decision making. That is, the study of smart heuristics people actually use to make good decisions. In order to make good decisions in an uncertain world, one sometimes has to ignore information. The art is knowing what one doesn't have to know. The art is knowing what one doesn't have to know. Gigerenzer's work is of importance to people interested in how the human mind actually solves problems. In this regard, his work is influential to psychologists, economists, philosophers, and animal biologists, among others. Oh, I think he meant non-human biologists. The biologists are non-human. Are human. But the bio they're studying is not. Let's get that handsome boy back up here. Can't. Won't let me. There he is. It is also of interest to people who design smart systems to solve problems. He provides illustrations on how one can construct fast and frugal strategies for coronary care unit decisions, personnel selection, and stock picking. Now it's the German talking again. Who's going to be the author of this thing if we ever get to his fucking thing? My work will, I hope, change the way people think about human rationality, he says. Human rationality cannot be understood, I argue, by the ideals of omniscience and optimization. Oh, that's right. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. If you think of rationality in the sense of like having all information and making the best decisions, or then you might just be like, oh, well, you might be like Eris and be like, yo, oh, okay. Humans are irrational, dismissed. Eris isn't really like that, but you could think so. If you're a dumbass. So instead, throw that out the window. All this omniscience, optimization is pure, total rationality. And let's talk about what are the heuristics, the shortcut mechanisms by which our cognition actually unfolds. The its. Am I right, bro? This is the last one. In an uncertain world, there is no optimal solution known for most interesting and urgent problems. When human behavior fails to meet these Olympian expectations, many psychologists conclude that the mind is doomed to irrationality. These are the two dominant views today, and neither extreme of hyperrationality or irrationality captures the essence of human reasoning. My aim is not so much to criticize the status quo, but rather to provide a viable alternative. Alright, let's hear from Gerd. No. Okay, hold on. Alright. Alright, let's go. Well, how long is this? You know what? I'm so sorry. We're not doing this route. I'm just gonna read a little bit, okay? Just so we can say that we did. At the beginning of the 20th century, I'll read till the end of the page. At the beginning of the 20th century, the father of modern science fiction, Herbert George Wells, said in his writings on politics, "If we want to have an educated citizenship in a modern technological..." Alright, good. Alright, we're gonna do it for real tomorrow, or maybe... no, because we are reading... Oh, maybe. Maybe we'll read a little bit more later tonight.